I think you may have made a wrong turn back there because you've just crossed over into the Brick Zone. My name is Will, and this is LEGO Bionicle Set number 70788, Kopaka, Master of Ice. The set was released in 2015 and included 97 pieces. So, I just reviewed the original Kopaka to go along with this new one, which has been re-released with the reboot of Bionicle 2015. And when I first saw the image of like all 6 of the Toa, like what the new versions of them look like, I was a little put off by some. But when I saw Kopaka, I was like, yeah, he's still the best out of the 6, even now with this new, I guess, reboot or relaunch of Bionicle. Just he still looks awesome. Even if it does, I feel like I have to get used to like the bulkier look of all of them. But even with the increase of size, just he still looks awesome. I think mainly because they didn't diverge too far away from his original mask. I think that's really an iconic thing to the original Kopaka. So, I mean, here's just a quick. I'll probably give a closer look later, but yeah, it looks very similar, and in some cases, maybe somewhat better. I don't know. It's just it's still it's different, but not too different. And there's nothing wrong with them making changes or anything, but yeah, I just think he looks really cool again. So let's give him a turn around. I got this for my birthday this year, so it's a really nice present to get, just because it brings back memories and whatnot. But this is my first Lego Technic set outside of Bionicle, just after it ended. I guess towards the end of Bionicle, I wasn't really getting any of the sets anyway. But I mean, I never got like Hero Factory or any of the other construction figures that they released. Construction meaning, construction figures like just the buildable action figures Lego releases in various themes. But yeah, I mean, it was strange to build with all these new pieces I've never used before, just because I feel like I haven't, like I said, I just haven't gotten any of those new sets, so, they have new pieces, and it's kind of familiar, but at the same time, some of them fit, strangely to me, just because I've never used any of them before. I don't know if that's new. I'm sure there are new pieces for people who have already gotten into it, but, I'm sure there are some that are also reused from Hero Factory or something, but to me, it's brand new, so it was an interesting experience, and some of the new pieces look pretty cool, some of them. But anyway, let's take a closer look at Kopaka. Let's zoom in. So there is his mask. I'm not sure if they have names for the new masks in the new story. I'm not really a fan of the new story, to be quite honest. I feel like it's a big downgrade from the old one. But, yeah, Akaku, I don't know if that's still what they call it. I'm sure, maybe it still does X-ray, who knows? I'm not really following it. But, there it is, and he still has the light blue for the eyes. Let me just... You could actually just pop it out with the brain stock here. That's what the new head looks like. They all look like that, as far as I know, for the rest of the Toa, and they just kind of clip on there. I think that's pretty cool, like how it just kind of falls off like that. Nice functionality. And while I'm zoomed up close by his head, I'm just gonna like move this centered a bit. There you go. The set also comes, each of the Toa come with a gold version of their masks. So that's really cool, because back with the original Toa, I remember, I think you had to find them in some of those mask collecting boxes or sets, and in the story I remember I think they had to collect all 6 of their Kanohi masks to make the golden version of the one they wear. So it's cool that LEGO just automatically included it with each of the Toa, so you don't really have to go out and buy more. It's given to you, which is nice. I really appreciate that, and it looks good. I think it looks good just because Kopaka has gold on his armor. He has the gold shoulders and the gold piece on his chest, his torso. So it goes well, I think. But speaking of which, those those are new. I don't remember those on Kopaka, either the Toamatsu version or Toa Nuva. Just the shoulder pads and everything, but they do bulk him up a bit, I think, and it is kind of strange to see him there. And they kind of move around and adjust a little bit like this, depending on how you move the arms, which I'll probably do later. But before we move on the head, you could actually move it a little bit, so you could. It's on a ball joint, so you just turn it wherever, which is nice. It's a really nice thing about this figure in general, like a lot of articulation, so a lot of room for like posability, and yeah, he's also very sturdy again, like the original. But on his torso, that is a sticker, or was it a sticker, or was it printed? Maybe it was printed. I think it was printed. I think on his knee pads, on his knees, somewhere by his legs, part of the armor needed a sticker. But, yeah, let's just zoom out a bit. So, there in his right hand, you can see he has this ice staff, so instead of a sword. And I really like how, I'm sure other people caught that too, like how the tip of his spear or staff is a Rakshi, one of those Rakshi, the ones at the end of the Rakshi staffs or spears, whatever they had. I think it was the blue one. I don't know. I forget the name. I'm sure when I re-review all my old Lego Bionicle sets, or not re-review, when I review them, since I never have reviewed my Bionicle sets, but yeah, I'll go through. I'll probably mention that anyway. So there's that, and it's just on a long Technic axle that pretty much makes the staff. I do like that though. This kind of frost piece. It's a mix of trans light blue and white, and it gives that really cool elemental snow ice effect, which is cool, I think. And in his other hand, in Kopaka's other hand, he has his ice shield. Big upgrade from his small radar dish shield from the original version of him. It's huge. Gigantic. It's like almost as tall as he is, if not taller. It looks pretty good. Let's take a look at the side. That's what he looks like from the side. That's probably the only part I don't like. If you see in the back, the piece they use to turn his arms, or his arm, is yellow for some reason. I don't know why they did that. It kind of just doesn't look good to me. His back is covered with this piece. It is good, and even his legs towards the bottom have some padding, but there's a little exposure there, but it's still pretty well protected. Anyway, you turn this, or loosen his arms a bit, put him out, and you can move his arm. And unlike the original, although mine kind of beg to differ, there's more friction in these new arms, so or with these pieces. So when you turn it, you know, it actually holds in place pretty well, which some of them did not. So that's a plus, because he can hold poses and not have his arms like fall down and be loose. That's another thing about this new one that I like, or just the new figures in general. I'll bring this closer. I really like those hand pieces, like with the fists. I don't know how people feel about those. I'm really out of touch with just participating in the communities and whatnot, but yeah, that is really cool. It's kind of like, reminds me of the old Bionicle movie that they had, like how they all had hands. Like, I thought that was kind of weird at the time, just because they always used like the same piece for hands and other body pieces. Like, I don't know what this piece is called, but they use it for everything, I thought. But, yeah, it's just cool to get actual hands now, and it looks like those, so that's really, it's a really good touch, I think, or a really good change. Although I did find that old one kind of just, yeah, part of the figure. I don't know, anyway. So there are his legs behind his shield. I'll move that out of the way, and you could just, actually, you could detach this. His two different shield parts. I'll bring him closer, whatever. So, I'm just gonna move, and I'll move his arms a bit too. Throw on ball joints there. Like I said, you can adjust these shoulder pads if you need to move them really out. So if you want his arm to go all the way out there, you can. And you can just adjust the shoulder pad as you need to. Very cool. Very cool. And like I said, you could still move his arms around. And that's another cool thing too, the transparent light blue for his arms just look really cool. Because as most of you probably know by now, I really like Lego pieces, like transparent. In different colors, of course. There's the rest. Let's look at the bottom of his torso. That's where his legs connect. Here's a better look at his legs. Those are stickers. This was not. But yeah, these, and they weren't that hard to apply. You know, some stickers are annoying, but those are fairly easy. And here's a look at his feet. Some more of that trans light blue. Yeah, really cool. Still, it took some getting used to, but I feel like he's grown on me. And even, like I said, when I first saw the picture of all 6 of them, I feel like he was still my favorite. Like, just because he didn't look too... He looked familiar. But anyway, before I go on, you can also take his shield, since it splits, and you could actually use them as ice skis. Like that. Kind of like the Kopaka Nuva could. Like how he used them as skis. You could do the same thing here, which is... It's pretty cool. Just a 360 of how he looks with that. Nice. So, maybe if you wanted to, you could just... Oh, whoops. There goes his mask. You could just separate the shield and just have them as separate blades on his hand and just use it like that. I don't know. I don't know what people have been doing, but I think that would be pretty cool too. Just gonna put his shield back. Oh, and while his mask fell off, they also include this skull spider. I don't know what they call them in the story or in the toy, but anyway, they attach to the figure's head. I guess like that. And that's what that looks like. I don't really know much about the story, like I mentioned earlier, so looks kind of weird. Kind of like the face huggers from Aliens, like the Alien movies. Let's put his normal mask back on. But that pretty much does it for Kopaka. I think that covered about everything. Let me just put his shield back on. So yeah, overall, I really like this new version of Kopaka. Compared to the rest of the new Toa that they came out with now in 2015. Just because, you know, he doesn't look too weird. He looks, I think, like I mentioned in the beginning of the video or sometime there, it's like, I think the mask really helps a lot. Just keeping it at least somewhat similar to the... Oh, this is pretty spot on in my opinion, but I think it kind of bothered me a little that they went a really different direction with some of the other masks, but even them, I've kind of grown on them a little bit, but if they had changed this one a lot, or like way too much, or just made it... I don't know, I really like this original one. I mean, the Toa Nuva version of Kopaka, his mask, like the Akaku Nuva or whatever it was, I mean, that looked different, but it also reminded me of the old one a little bit. And this one reminds me of it even more. Sorry, I keep moving the skull spider, whatever it is. So, overall, I would definitely recommend this Toa if you want to just get into Bionicle, like the new Bionicle that has relaunched. I mean, if you had to pick one of the Toa to get, I would definitely go with Kopaka, just because I think he looks the best. He's the coolest, pun intended. You know, he has this large shield, he has the ice staff, and you could ride it as ice skates. Ice skating is cool. And the color scheme is just pretty good. You know, the gold and the white looks really good, and I really like the transparent light blue, as I've said like 3 times already. Yeah, it's just definitely really good stuff here. And for fun, since I have him out here anyway, this is the original Kopaka, so that's the 2 of them side by side, and look at that difference. Wow, he's just a lot taller than the new one. But yeah, it just goes to show how long away LEGO has gone from their beginnings. Anyway, I have probably gone on long enough to get cut off. But anyway, I'm curious what you guys think. What do you guys think of Bionicle in general? Do you prefer this new version of Kopaka or the old version? Even if you're an old fan, or if you're just someone who just doesn't know anything about Bionicle, which one do you guys prefer just looking at the 2? What do you guys think of the figure, like the new one? Do you like how they're bulkier and how the arms have more friction in them so they can hold poses better? Things like that. Like or dislike the video, depending on if you liked it or not. And come back to the Brick Zone for more video reviews and stop motions.